Hey everyone, and Happy New Year. I hope you had a safe and fun New Year's Eve and are ready to take on your New Year's resolution. One of my New Year's resolutions is to eat healthy, low carb, and more protein, specifically more plant-based protein. So I have a couple recipes today to share with you that should fit into all of those categories. So to start, we're going to make some banana oat muffins. So to a bowl, I'm going to add some flour, as well as some good old-fashioned oats, as well as some baking powder, baking soda, salt, and cinnamon. And as always, I'll have the recipes linked down below for you. I whisk these together and then set them to the side. This recipe calls for 3 ripe bananas, but mine were humongous, so I did 2.5. I then added in some melted butter, some sugar, just a little bit, not a lot, don't worry. Some milk. I just use regular 2%, but I'm sure you could substitute with non-dairy milk as well. I wanted to mix this ahead of time because my butter was slightly warm, so I wanted to incorporate that before adding my eggs so we don't have scrambled eggs. Next comes 2 eggs. Vanilla. I never measure vanilla. I add it to my heart's content, and if anyone tells you it's too much vanilla, well, don't give them the muffin. I added in my dry ingredients and mixed to combine. Next comes the fun part, chocolate chips. And you can measure chocolate chips, or you could just not. And again, if someone says it's too much chocolate, they don't have to eat it. So add to your liking. This recipe was supposed to make 12 standard size muffins. I filled mine pretty full and I still had batter left, so just keep that in mind. Of course, if you want to double or triple this recipe, go for it. I did freeze some of these. They froze really well, and I just heated them up in the microwave to defrost them, and they were still delicious. So just keep that in mind if you're making these. And I ended up getting these little muffin liners for my mini muffin pan because they're the worst thing to clean. I got these at the dollar store. They're super cute. I thought my son would like the little cars. And I just used a teaspoon to fill these ones, but you can see how much batter I had left over, so this was fantastic. And then I just, added more chocolate because I didn't feel like there was enough, and you can never have too much chocolate in my opinion. I baked these at 375 for around 20 minutes. The little ones took about 12, just kept an eye on them, but they were fantastic. My kids loved these. They were a great quick breakfast or snack option, or if you're on the go or need to throw it in a lunch. They keep you a bit fuller because of the oats. Awesome, highly recommend. Alright, next I've got a protein-filled snack for you that's low carb. I bought these little mini peppers and then I cut them on the diagonal so they laid flat. That's kind of a key point for this recipe, lay them flat. And then I just used a spoon to scoop out the little membranes and seeds inside them. So I will leave a take on this recipe linked down below, but I kind of did my own thing, so I'll just tell you what I did. I used 4 ounces of softened cream cheese, 1 green onion, and then I added in just a pinch of salt, a little bit of black pepper, and as much sriracha as your heart wants. For me, it was that amount because I was serving these to my mother, and she finds pepper too spicy sometimes, so we wanted to make these not super spicy for her, but if you like spicy, go ahead and add more sriracha. I just used a knife and filled my peppers in, and these were so good. They were really filling. I think probably one pepper would fill you up as a snack, but they were really good, really refreshing, and great to make up ahead of time, store in the fridge, throw in your lunches, grab as a quick and grab-and-go snack. Highly recommend. Next, we're going to make a rainbow salad. So to a bowl, I added 3 types of beans. I've got chickpeas, kidney beans, and black beans. And then we're going to make a rainbow. So I've got some red pepper, some yellow and orange pepper, some green pepper, some fresh parsley. You could also use cilantro if you are a cilantro fan, and some jalapeno. And it called for 1, but mine was humongous, so I just used half. And then some red onion. And if you don't like strong red onion, just soak it in cold water for a couple minutes and it will take the bite off of the red onion. Then for the dressing, in a mason jar, I added some olive oil as well as some red wine vinegar. I don't think I've used celery salt for anything other than rimming my Caesars, but it called for it in this dressing and it was really good. I also added some onion powder and some Dijon mustard. Lastly, some pepper, and then I put the lid on and shook it up. This is the easiest way I find to mix salad dressing because it really incorporates all the ingredients with minimal mess, and then you just throw in your dishwasher. This salad looks fantastic. I drizzled the dressing all over and then gave it a good mix and let it sit in the refrigerator for about 2 hours. We had it for dinner that night. My husband took this almost every day this week for lunch and he loved it. It was super filling and it's gorgeous. Like, it looks pretty to eat. And I find if things look good, you're more likely to eat them. Again, you can make this at the beginning of the week, keep it in your fridge, and you've got it for lunches, snacks, whatever you need. Breakfast, my husband even had it for one day. Highly recommend. Alright, so I'm just starting on the sweet potato, carrot, lentil, spice soup, whatever it's called. I'll put it right here. But it calls for 1 large sweet potato, which this is a big boy. So, big, large sweet potato, and then 2 large carrots, but my carrots are on the smaller side, so I'm going to use 3. I might do another one, we'll see. But I'm going to chop all these up and put them on a baking sheet and roast them while I'm cooking my lentils. So that's step 1. So this recipe actually has you roast your vegetables with no oil, salt, or anything. You just throw them in the oven for about 20-25 minutes until they're fork tender, depending on the size that you cut them. Just cooked my red lentils, so I did half a cup of lentils, 1.5 cups of water, brought it to a boil, turned it down to a simmer and covered it and let it sit for about 15 to 20 minutes until they were nice and soft, and then I drained them in a sieve to get all the water out. In a large pot, I brought some grapeseed oil to medium-high heat and added in 1 onion. Once that was cooked, I added in some garlic as well as some ginger and let that just kind of come up to temperature. And then I added in the roasted veggies and got that all coated. Then it calls for 5 cups of vegetable broth. So I added in 5 cups of water and some vegetable bouillon, as well as a 1/4 cup of crushed tomatoes, 2 bay leaves, some turmeric, some cumin, some thyme, and your lentils. I brought this all to a boil and then covered it and simmered it for about 20 minutes. I then removed the bay leaves, do not forget to do that, and then I added it to my Vitamix blender. You could use a food processor or you could also use a hand blender if you have it. But I wanted to use my Vitamix because it makes such a creamy soup. And this soup was creamy. It was so rich and delicious, and we all loved it. It was like a sweet Indian spice, I would say, and you could add some fresh cilantro. This is parsley, but you could add fresh cilantro if you wanted. But this was the perfect bowl of soup on a cold winter's night. I highly recommend. Plus you're getting all your veggies. I hope you all have a great week, and I'll see you in the next video.